What if a megalodon suddenly showed up in the modern North Pacific? Could it tear through the food chain and rule these freezing waters again? Right now, near the Aleutian Islands, deep in those dark, icy waters, a hidden collapse in space-time quietly erupts. As the seawater twists in density and light bends violently, a prehistoric nightmare gone for 3.5 million years punches through time and drops into the modern deep sea. This prehistoric survivor, as if forced into the modern ocean by some higher dimensional power, arrives at an incredible 10 feet long. It already weighs nearly 440 pounds, but in its very first second in the modern ocean, this ancient prince is not met with total domination, but a deadly mismatch in survival rules. The Pliocene seas it came from were warm waters that stayed above 77 degrees year-round, but the North Pacific deep sea in front of it is close to a bone-chilling 39 degrees. That lethal temperature gap instantly cuts through its underdeveloped layer of fat. To fight the kind of cold that can snuff out life itself, the engine of this prehistoric killing machine is forced into overdrive. Then comes the hypothermia, along with a hunger so brutal it feels like its stomach is being torn apart. This nearly frozen ancient machine desperately needs high-calorie flesh to keep its body warm. Like a cold shadow, it glides along the edge of the continental shelf, searching for its first meal in the modern world. The first group of prey appears. It is a school of modern king salmon rushing through their migration. In the megalodon's ancient memory, prey means slow-moving, fat-rich early baleen whales. The fish in front of it are tiny but starving and desperate. It lashes its tail, unleashes terrifying prehistoric power, and lunges forward with its tooth-filled jaws wide open. But reality slaps it hard in the face. After millions of years of brutal evolution, modern bony fish have taken agility to the limit. The king salmon hit top speed in a fraction of a second, scattering like a silver storm. Even with everything it has, this 10-foot ancient tank cannot catch these agile modern salmon. And that kind of explosive sprint burns through oxygen and heat fast. After just a dozen seconds, its speed crashes, and it can only watch the prey vanish into the murky currents. That is when it first realizes the modern ocean is nothing like the world in its genes. After 2 full days of hunger, it is finally forced to dig through the muddy seafloor and find the rotting carcass of a gray whale. By feeding on carrion and occasionally ambushing sluggish bottom-dwelling flounder, it barely makes it through the darkest early days after its arrival. In this era, if you are not fast enough, you do not catch prey. If you are not big enough, you do not survive the cold. The years that follow become a long, bloody, ruthless stretch of patience and growth. It stops charging blindly and learns to lie in wait along the dark edges of ocean trenches. With the terrifying growth speed written into its ancient genes, it begins slowly taking over modern ecological niches. By year 5, now 26 feet long, it gives up on small fish and starts ambushing sea lions and walruses. By year 10, it passes the 40-foot mark and fully escapes the deadly threat of cold water. It slips out of the Bering Sea and enters the open ocean. And right there, it runs into the signature killer of the modern ocean, a 16-foot adult female great white shark. The entire meeting between 2 generations of ocean rulers lasts only 8 seconds. The great white's incredibly sensitive electroreceptors pick up the terrifying bioelectric signal from this 40-foot giant, and an alarm built by millions of years of evolution goes off instantly. This cold-blooded killer of the modern ocean does not even dare to test it, whipping around and fleeing into the deep. That brief encounter reveals a brutal truth. The great white only has its status today because the megalodon went extinct. Now the real king is back. By year 15, its ancient genes fully bloom, and it finally becomes a full-grown adult, 59 feet long and weighing 60 tons. This massive black reaper of the deep can no longer hide its crushing presence. Dragging its mountain-like body through the water, it openly cruises the sunlit highways of the open ocean. A few days later, it locks onto the ultimate meal big enough to cover its massive energy needs, a 66-foot adult blue whale weighing 80 tons. In the face of the megalodon's absolute power, this giant of the modern ocean is nothing more than a slow-moving mountain of meat. The prehistoric reaper waits in the dark hundreds of meters beneath the blue whale, then rockets straight upward. Its 60-ton body turns into a heavy deep-sea torpedo, with 276 saw-edged teeth and a terrifying bite force of over 180,000 newtons. It tears a full ton of flesh straight from the blue whale's side. The blue whale lets out a deep, muffled cry as its massive body thrashes violently, but the megalodon gives it no chance to breathe, and a series of savage bites instantly severs the blue whale's spine. Thick blood erupts like an underwater volcano, turning the ocean red for miles around. But just as it starts feeding, an extremely high-frequency burst of sonar slices through the water. 30 huge black dorsal fins rise like grim reaper scythes on the surface, surrounding it completely. It is a massive open ocean formation made up of 30 adult orcas. They have followed the overwhelming scent of blood. This is not just a simple fight over food. This is a destined bloodbath between the old ruler and the new. The rage buried in the prehistoric war god's genes explodes in an instant, and it charges first. But these 30 modern sea gods scatter instantly with high intelligence and perfectly divided battle rolls. They move like 30 razor-sharp scalpels, cutting through the megalodon's blind spots again and again. One 23-foot orca rides the current past its side, clamps its cone-shaped teeth onto the megalodon's massive right pectoral fin, and tears away a huge chunk of flesh. The megalodon snaps in fury, its 180,000 Newton hydraulic guillotine slamming shut, but it only bites into a burst of water. Its 60-ton body is unstoppable in a straight-line charge, but against modern 3-dimensional team tactics, it is far too clumsy. Then several more orcas rush in from its rear blind spot and bite down hard on its unprotected tailbase.